Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm Pastor Manny, and this is Looking Up. It's a ministry here at English Oaks Seventh-day Adventist Church. And Sunday through Friday, Pastor Bob and I are going to be sharing an encouraging thought for your day in the mornings. And so I thought I just wanted to share today was, have you ever wanted to be great at something? Or just have you ever wanted to be great in general? I know I have. I wanted to be great at a lot of things. My favorite sport to play is basketball, and I wanted to be great at basketball. It's just my nature, it's my drive, and I wanted to be the best player that I could. And so, but talking about greatness, how does one measure greatness? And and when you think of greatness, what or who do you think of, right? And in our society, when we look at it, our society, it idolizes the rich, it idolizes the powerful, the beautiful, and the athletic, right? There's statues of athletes all over the world. There's businesses, nations, right, are really just looked upon because they have great power, great wealth, and things like that. And so when you look at our society and our culture, you see a lot of this stuff, right? Celebrities, they're idolized because of just their lifestyle and the living lavishly and things like that, right? So, however, what about in the kingdom of God? Right? How does the kingdom of God measure greatness? And one ways it does this is it measures greatness is in serving others, right? Because the world, it claims that when you serve others, it's demeaning, right? That you shouldn't serve other people because you're putting yourself below them. But when it comes to the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of heaven measures greatness in serving selflessly and lovingly. And these are the people that are highly regarded in the kingdom of heaven. And so there's a passage that actually gives a great example of this in Luke 22 verse 27. And this is Jesus and his disciples, and Jesus says this to them. He says, "For who is greater, he who sits at the table or he who serves? Is it not he who sits at the table? Yet I am among you as the one who serves." Wow, let that sink in. Jesus and his disciples are coming in for the Passover, and the disciples want the prominent place. They want the prominent seat, right? And I remember being a kid, always wanting that seat at the table or like a certain couch and things like that. And I remember some family members who are older than me, like cousins or uncles, would be like, no, Manny, get out of the seat. That's my seat, So and then you just feel like, oh man, you feel kind of discouraged because you got booted from the seat, right? And so here the disciples are coming into this place, and they want the prominent seat. But Jesus reminds them. He says, hey, who is greater, he who sits at the table or he who serves? And I really like it in one of the devotions I have been reading. It says this about the situation. The disciples were coming in, and Jesus entered the upper room, right? The disciples and Jesus, and the disciples looked for the prominent place and the head of the table, and but Jesus looked for a place to serve. Now let that sink in. The disciples came in, they looked for a prominent place, the head of the table, but Jesus looked for a place to serve. Wow, I just love this example because Jesus, if anybody didn't have to serve anyone, it was him, because he's the creator, the God of heaven, and but he comes in and he sets the example for us. And many times we are tempted to adopt the world's evaluation of importance, all right? Like rich, powerful, athletic, beautiful, and things like that, which I'm not saying that none of these things are necessarily bad in itself, but it's where does our evaluation of importance come from? But when we look at Jesus as our model, it takes a far more noble character to serve than to be served. The world will estimate our importance by the number of people serving us, but God is concerned with how many people we are serving. So, and my challenge for us this week is not to be like the disciples and look for a prominent place and look for the head of the table wherever we go, wherever we are, but is to be like Jesus and look for a place to serve. All right. God bless everyone. I hope you all have a blessed weekend, and take care, and look forward to seeing you soon.